The United States and G7 are now making good on that commitment. Together, we will leverage income earned from frozen Russian sovereign assets to provide a total of $50 billion of extraordinary revenue acceleration (ERA) loans to Ukraine. This will lend vital support to the people of Ukraine as they defend their country, and it also makes clear aggressors and tyrants will be responsible for the damage they cause.
Oh boy, he is back. We are back. Now, I hope y'all are ready for these Trump posts, man. These Trump tweets. Hope y'all are ready. This is what he posted. The Bidenomics. You pay taxes, I send it to Ukraine. They send it back to Hunter. Hunter gives it to me. Pardon Hunter. How Bidenomics works. Yeah. Woo. You just can't make it up, man. Boy, when I tell you people are hotter than fish grease, people are sick and tired, people are fed up, people are done with this Biden administration, man. Boy, told y'all, these next 40 days, 50 days, just watch how it's going to get worse. And they proved me right. This is... And I tell you, it's more corrupt things that are going on, y'all. And y'all know. It is way more corrupt things, man. A lot of sick things have been done. It's been a bunch of lies, a bunch of fraud, criminals. But we got a huge shocking update on this Ukraine funding, man. $50 billion. Boy. Just can't make this up, man. People are done. You know, people are pissed. Hotter, like I say, hot, like grandma used to say. And uncle and them and daddy and them. Hotter than fish grease. That's what we say, y'all. Y'all say that? Hotter than fish grease? Yeah. But make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We keep it real. Keep you updated. Let you know what's going on, man. And it's just an absolute disgrace, man. You know. Let's jump in, y'all.
To provide a total of $50 billion to Ukraine.
I have as much experience in foreign policy as any president in the history of the United States has had.
Aggressors and tyrants will be responsible.
If we do not lead the world, what nation leads the world?
Now, this is the type of story that's going to get your blood boiling because it was just announced by the White House that Ukraine will be receiving $50 billion in additional funding. Yes, you heard me correctly. And in case you don't believe me, here's the White House actually saying that.
States and G7 are now making good on that commitment. Together, we will leverage income earned from frozen Russian sovereign assets to provide a total of $50 billion of extraordinary revenue acceleration (ERA) loans to Ukraine. This will lend vital support to the people of Ukraine as they defend their country, and it also makes clear aggressors and tyrants will be responsible for the damage they cause.
Now understand something. It's a $20 billion loan from the United States. Now, the other $30 billion is from other countries. And clearly this is going to spark outrage because we have disaster victims here at home that we should be thinking about, right? And that's why this decision will continue to raise questions about the government's priorities. Think about that. They've had more announcements coming out of the White House for Ukraine than they have for these disaster victims from the hurricane. Now, combine that with what they did last year, which was $61 billion in foreign aid. Fully half of that budget has gone to just 10 countries. And of course, number one on the list is Ukraine. Number two is Israel. No brainer, right? And look at that. Afghanistan is even on this list. Why are we sending $1.19 billion to Afghanistan? And of course, President-elect Trump did not waste any time going to social media and actually turning this into a meme. And here it is, Bidenomics. Number one, you pay taxes. Number two, I send it to Ukraine. Number three, they send it back to Hunter. Number four, Hunter gives it to me. And number five, pardon Hunter. That's how Bidenomics works, right? Now, this gets even crazier. Here is the current Secretary of Defense announcing almost $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine.
We've seen strong bipartisan support for Ukraine from Leader McConnell and other leaders in both parties. And I'm proud to announce today the commitment of a new Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package worth nearly $1 billion. Now, that package will provide Ukraine with more drones, more rockets for its HIMARS systems, and more support for crucial maintenance and sustainment. And that brings the total of U.S. security assistance committed to Ukraine since February 2022 to more than $62 billion.
It's so interesting how they celebrate that they have sent $62 billion of taxpayer money to Ukraine. I mean, that is something to clap for. That's something to celebrate. So if you're at home right now, you know, have yourself a drink, take a shot, and celebrate this funding that is going to Ukraine, because clearly that's how they operate. Now, of course, Joe Biden also had something to say about these announcements and his experience, and then his teleprompter went out. I think you will find some type of entertainment with this. Check this out.
You know, there is no country on earth better positioned to lead the world in the years to come than America. Think about what stunned me. And again, I'm going to say something outrageous. I have as much experience in foreign policy as any president in history of the United States has had. The chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. Anyway, I spent a lot of time. I know all of them. I can't name a single country in the world that doesn't think. Put it this way. If we're not leading the world, who does? Not a joke. I'm not being wise guy. If we do not lead the world, what nation leads the world? Who pulls Europe together? Who tries to pull the Middle East together? How do we do the Indian Ocean? What do we do in Africa? We, the United States, lead the world. And you know, one of the things that's going on here, they just turned off my, I'm going to go vomit. I lost the electricity here. Anyway. Well, one of the things we found is that
this is bro, y'all. This just when I'm telling y'all, just when you think it don't get lower and lower and lower, they drop it like it's hot, man. This really got 81 million votes, man. Can't be, man. Just sorry. And then he admits, you know, my teleprompter went out. This is sad, man. This is pathetic. This, man, this, I know like a lot of y'all are laughing. You're having your time with this, but man, this is lower than low, man.
you know we invented the computer chip, size of the tip of your little finger.
Yeah, so we are not surprised that Joe Biden sounds this way. He speaks this way. He has really no coherent explanation on why they're sending so much money over to Ukraine. He's got other people to do that on his behalf. But here's the problem.
He don't even know what's going on. He don't probably even know where he at. I told y'all they stopped putting, it was some certain gas station dick pills. They were mixing at first. Then they stopped using that batch. You know. They stopped using that batch. Now y'all seeing these previous he with world leaders meetings, falling asleep live on air. Yeah. They not using that. I told y'all, man. But it been happening. Even when we got on the debate stage, they stopped using that certain batch of dick pills in his drink. I told y'all, man. Them Patriots know about them dick pills. You got to use a certain kind, or it just won't happen. It just won't work. You're not gonna have it. It ain't gonna be there. And them Democrats, they tore the puppet strings off. They messed up his drink. They stopped using that certain batch. Yeah. It's like a Chick-fil-A sandwich. You gonna taste a difference if something in that Chick-fil-A sandwich don't taste like a Chick-fil-A sandwich. You gonna know. Cause they use certain chemicals, it's a certain taste that Chick-fil-A sandwich have. No matter if you go to this state and try, if you go over here and try it, every Chick-fil-A is gonna always taste the same, no matter where you go. Cause they got that certain batch. But all jokes aside, y'all, this is an absolute disgrace, man, for real. I'm just being honest, man.
Decades on end, the U.S. has acted as the world's policeman, often at the expense of its own citizens. Our major critique here is this approach to get involved in every single thing that's wrong with the world and never actually getting involved with what's wrong here at home. Now, here's Trump's latest comments about Ukraine and how they should be prepared to receive less funding.
Should Ukraine prepare for less aid from the United States after you're sworn into office?
Yeah, probably.
We are back.
Sure.
Yes.
You said you can end the war in 24 hours. You've even said you want to try to end it before you're sworn into office.
I'm trying to end it
You're
if I
actively
can.
trying to?
I am.
Have you talked to President Putin?
No, I have not.
You haven't talked to President Putin
No, I have
since
not.
you've been
You mean,
elected?
no, well, I don't want to say that, but I haven't spoken to him recently.
So you've spoken to President Putin since you've
I
been
don't
elected?
want to say that. I don't want to say anything about that because I don't want to do anything that could impede the negotiation.
But you
I want to
have
stop
talked
it.
about
Let me
the
tell you
other
what I
world
have talked
leaders.
about. Let me tell
Okay.
you. There are people being killed in that war at levels that nobody's ever seen before. You have to go back to the Second World War, and even that, if you take a look at, and you know what it is? It's the soldiers largely. The cities have been emptied out and demolished. The country has been demolished.
So according to a Wall Street Journal report in September 2024, they estimate that the casualties for the soldiers have reached over 1 million. Now, can anybody please in the comment section let me know what the return on investment is? I mean, we are sending billions to Ukraine for what? Now, if you're not pissed off, this article is definitely going to get you there because this is really the story behind everything I was just saying right now. Joe Biden is rushing aid to Ukraine. Both sides are digging in and everyone is bracing for Donald Trump. What does that really mean? Well, Russia and Ukraine and their global allies are scrambling to put their side in the best possible position for any changes that Trump may bring to American policy. Listen, the president-elect insisted in recent days that the Russia and Ukraine war needs to reach a ceasefire and Ukraine should likely prepare to receive less U.S. military aid, which I showed you earlier in this video. Now, here comes the part where I just lose it. The Biden administration is pushing every available dollar out the door to shore up Ukraine's defenses before leaving office in 6 weeks. Later in this article, they say they're spending all this money just enough to hold on, but not enough to defeat Russian President Vladimir Putin's forces, according to Ukraine and some of its allies. So again, can somebody make sense of this? The comment section, why are they spending all this money, right? Because we know they can't agree on border security. They definitely don't care about these disaster victims as it pertains to the hurricane. They definitely don't care about our veterans. They definitely don't care about the education system, right? But they care about Ukraine, and they can agree to almost a $1 trillion budget for Department of Defense. But they can't agree on anything else. Because remember, right now they're working on a new funding package for the federal government. They still don't even have money that they have agreed to fund the government for next year. But they can agree to Ukraine and they can agree to the Department of Defense $1 trillion budget. Can somebody please make sense of this? Now, since the government can't get their finances in order, I think it's good for us to hear from our sponsor today, American that he sent to Ukraine. California was unable to track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. The Pentagon is unable to track $2.3 trillion in military spending. The U.S. Treasury was unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. but the IRS knows that you spent $601.57 to your friend. So you better report it or go to jail. So yeah, I think we really need to rethink what's going on with the money. And the issue is not even that they're sending it, which, you know, some people don't agree with. The issue is that what's happening with the money. Can you tell us that at least? All right, here's what General Mike Flynn had to say. We need to go back to the basics of what the federal government was designed to do and be, and stop this gouging of the American people with so many unnecessary and burdensome taxes. A complete redesign of the tax code and a complete reformation of the federal government must happen. If these don't, we will miss a once-in-a-lifetime historic opportunity to get America back on the rails, heading towards greatness. Now, the days ahead are going to be interesting because we have to understand the people who truly support the idea that we should cut back funding for Ukraine and sending all this money overseas and not focusing on what's happening here. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a populist agenda. And that is directly in conflict with the establishment. So I have to hear from you guys in the comment section below by answering this question here. If you had the power to cut one thing from the federal budget, what would that one thing be for you? Now, let me kind of jog your memory and give you some ideas here. You could either cut Ukraine entirely, or you could cut Israel, or you could cut the Department of Defense, or entitlement programs, or Planned Parenthood. Let me know what you would do in the comment section below. Now,